Temple OS says, did you attend AFPAC? Did you attend Stop the Steal? Did you listen to Macintosh Plus in high school? I guess that's a real litmus test, right? If you can't answer yes to those 3 questions, I don't want to hear from you. No, I kid. Remember that song, though? Remember Macintosh Plus? That brings back so many memories. I remember when the Vaporwave thing was... Do you remember when Vaporwave was new? I remember when I was in college and I first started getting on 4chan and I discovered Vaporwave. And that whole subculture, and I was like, wow. I was like enamored. What is Vaporwave? What's aesthetics? Why are they spacing out the letters? What's this song, you know? I remember discovering all of that for the first time. Oh, man. It makes me want to cry. Thinking about 2016 and meme magic and Kek and Pepe and Vaporwave and Macintosh Plus. Jordan Peterson and oh man, take me back. Oh, those were good times. I remember discovering that stuff and thinking it was the coolest thing ever. So esoteric. That was like 5 years ago. It's hard to believe. 5 years into the meme war. I mean, there was such an explosion, and I feel like there was such an explosion in like creativity then. It was like a real renaissance. Because social media, I mean, really social media and smartphones, that's the turning point. Internet's been around for decades. Computers have been around for decades. It was smartphones and social media which really boomed, like were invented in the early 2010s, boomed in the mid-2010s, like right at that time. And that was like freedom sort of like reasserting itself. You know, you had all these, and it was amateurish, don't get me wrong, but you had all these different kinds of expression that were breaking through the gate because they've been suppressed for decades. Mass media for decades have been controlled by Hollywood and TV and radio, and for the first time in like forever, it was like the people broke through the gates with social media and smartphones at their advent without censorship and produced, and a lot of it was amateurish, but it was fresh, it was interesting, it was kind of disruptive, and you had all this like fascist content and Vaporwave and this Trump political phenomenon and meme magic and all this kind of stuff. It was such a breath of fresh air, and I think that's really the difference maker, because then over the past 5 years, it's all been, you know, they all forced it back into the box. You know, they got back control over it. And now it's all tightened up again. And, you know, the synergy isn't happening. People are not getting together. Poll has been totally destroyed and shitted up. They said, oh, a place where people are being influenced? What if we controlled it all? You know, they looked at 4chan Poll and they, you know, obviously that was the talk of the town in 16, and they said, oh, a place on the internet where people are being influenced? A free anonymous place where minds are being influenced? What if we controlled all of it? What if we made bots and we controlled everything on there? And same with Twitter, and same with all of it. And they banned everybody, they destroyed, they cut the heads off the snakes, they blew up the group chats, they blew it all up. And now none of that creativity is happening anymore. None of the synergy is happening. I mean, it's still happening. We're trying to keep it alive, but that was the product of the open internet. That was the culmination of the truly free and open internet and like the full possibility of the internet. I know that might sound like an exaggeration because, you know, retard libtards might say like, oh, Pepe the Frog was a culmination of human freedom. Yeah, it was. It was actually. And if that had gone on, the whole world would have been turned upside down. Brexit, Trump, Cubs win the World Series, Patriots win the Super Bowl. If that had gone on, unmitigated, we would live in like, remember those videos they used to make, like fast wave videos? We would live in like a fast wave scenario. Flying cars, grid, Miami Beach, fascist architecture, classical sculptures. We would live in that. I would have like a Pit Viper, you know, heads-up display visor and like a robo augmented body. I would get in my flying car and I'd drive and pick up my hot trad Asian wife. We'd listen to like 80s Japanese pop on the way to like some wholesome trad cat disco or something. We would be living in total utopia if we just had like if for the past 5 years we had that instead of the slow gayification of everything. So, anyway. Macintosh Plus. I was playing that in the car today. Did you younger Zoomers, you'll never know. Maybe you experienced it, but you young Zoomers, you'll never know. You'll never know what it was like. You'll never know what it's like in the meme war. Oh my gosh. Can't stop the Trump and the rallies and the he will not divide us and $1 Million Extreme. Oh my gosh. Do you remember $1 Million Extreme? World Peace. That was such a huge part of my life. F in the chat. But we're still trying to keep it alive. We're trying to keep the meme magic alive, but it's hard to think about. Painful to reminisce. We're in the dark times. Before the dark times, right? Like Ben Kenobi said, before the dark times, before the Empire. We were supposed to never come down. We were never going to come down. But here we are. We were going to never come down. Remember, you cannot stop the Trump. Remember that? Look at what's happened now. Oh, man. Trump has been stumped. We have come down. Oh, man. Nah, but we're staying white-pilled. We're staying white-pilled. But it's so hard because you remember what that was like. It was different world entirely. What I would give to rediscover that, what I would give to go back and relive and discover it again for the first time. I was so innocent. I was just some retard libertarian, you know. I was like watching PragerU and Daily Wire and all that. And then I got into college and I was looking at WebM videos and got on 4chan and Can't Stump the Trump and Jordan Peterson and some of this alt-right stuff and Macintosh Plus and Vaporwave. Man. And here we are. And now you know what we have now? You know what we have now? You know what I see on the timeline today? Somebody takes a screenshot of the judge in the Derek Chauvin case making an okay hand signal. And he says, somebody on Twitter, Tom AF put this on Twitter and said, the judge in the Chauvin case did a white supremacist hand signal. And he's got the screenshot of the judge doing this and then the WP, the white power. That's what we have now. In 2016, we had Macintosh Plus and a whole catalog. We had Mac Tonight and all that. And now we have Jack Posobiec and Benny Johnson doing, SJW libtard at the Trump inauguration 4 years ago. And we have WP still and all that shit. Oh, makes me want to kill myself. Makes me want to kill myself when I hear that, when I see that stuff on the timeline. It makes me want to kill myself. All right, but I'm not going to. But I don't want to. But I don't want to kill, and I never will. But yeah, tough. It's tough. It's tough to see. He made an okay hand signal. I remember when that first started 4 years ago, and who made that meme? Mike Cernovich. Yeah, it's great Mike Cernovich meme, dude. Well memed. Well memed, Zoomer. This is why I drink. This is why I drink Coca-Cola. All right.